All right, let's talk about constipation. And I know, not the sexiest topic, but it's so important. Because what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if it's not just some simple plumbing issue, but a really complex signal your body is trying to send you? And what if the real root of the problem isn't even in your gut at all?
If you struggled with chronic constipation, you've heard all the advice, right? Oh, just add more fiber. You need to drink more water. And look, for some people, that's enough. But for so many of us, it's just a frustrating dead end. You feel like you've tried absolutely everything and nothing really truly fixes it for good. And that's probably because the real issue isn't what you're putting into your gut, but what's happening in the system that actually controls your gut. So we need to zoom out a little. Let's shift our focus away from the digestive tract itself and look at the master control system, your nervous system. Okay, so to really get this, we have to talk about your autonomic nervous system. The easiest way to think about it is that your body has two main settings, kind of like two operating modes. And these modes decide how your body uses its energy and resources from moment to moment. So these two modes are basically a gas pedal and a brake. The gas pedal is your fight or flight response. That's your sympathetic state. When you're stressed, anxious, or just super busy, your body hits the gas. It sends all the resources, blood, energy to your muscles and your brain so you can deal with a perceived threat. And digestion? Well, it gets totally deprioritized. It's put on the back burner. Now, the brake pedal is the rest and digest state. That's the parasympathetic system. When you're calm and relaxed, your body knows it's safe to hit the brakes, and it actively turns on digestion, sending blood flow to the gut and starting those crucial rhythmic contractions. And this parasympathetic system, this rest and digest mode, is the absolute key player here. It's the branch that tells your body, hey, everything is safe, you can go ahead and take care of business, like digesting your food. And it does this mainly through a kind of nerve superhighway called the vagus nerve. If this system doesn't get the go signal, your gut simply won't get the memo to start working. Okay, so if the nervous system is the control panel, how exactly does a problem there cause a major traffic jam down in your gut? Well, let's break it down. There are 6 key ways your nervous system state is directly wired to constipation. So the first and most direct connection is this. If your body is constantly stuck in that fight or flight mode, maybe because of chronic stress, trauma, or even just poor sleep, then digestion is constantly being deprioritized. The scientific term for those muscular waves that move things along is peristalsis. And when your nervous system is stressed, those waves just get weak and sluggish. It's like trying to surf on a perfectly flat ocean. There's just no momentum to get anywhere. And then there's this really fascinating and honestly super frustrating feedback loop. It starts in the brain. Stress signals from your brain literally change the environment in your gut. This can cause your gut microbiome, all those little bacteria, to shift, favoring species that actually make you more constipated. Now, because things are moving so slowly, toxins can hang around longer, which creates inflammation. And guess what? That inflammation sends even more stress signals right back up to the brain, locking you in this really vicious cycle. Another huge piece of this puzzle is fuel. Your gut is a muscle, right? And just like any other muscle in your body, your intestinal walls need a steady supply of oxygen and energy in the form of ATP to be able to contract and do their job. In conditions that often go along with nervous system issues, like POTS, blood flow can be really inefficient. And that means the gut is literally being starved of the fuel it needs. It's like an engine trying to run on empty. And this isn't just some abstract theory. It shows up as very real physical feelings. Do you often get cold hands and feet? Do you ever feel totally exhausted or even lightheaded right after you eat? That could be your body struggling to divert its limited resources to digestion, leaving other parts of you running low. That heavy, sluggish feeling in your gut can be a direct sign of this energy crisis. Your body's chemistry plays a massive role too. See, your nervous system doesn't operate in a bubble. It has a huge influence on your hormones and your electrolyte balance. So things like an underactive thyroid, overworked adrenal glands, or even low levels of crucial minerals like magnesium, sodium, and potassium can all throw a huge wrench in the works, directly slowing down muscle function and affecting your stool. Now, this next connection is really wild. It's about how our brains get stuck in a pattern. Your limbic system, which is the emotional center of your brain, can actually be trained by chronic stress to stay on high alert, to stay in a defensive state. So it just keeps sending out Brett signals nonstop, which means digestion is nonstop suppressed. And over time, your body can almost forget how to find the neurological path back to that calm, rest and digest mode. And finally, number 6. Sometimes the problem is a literal physical roadblock. Chronic tension in the muscles of your pelvic floor, your lower back, or even your abdomen can physically squeeze and restrict the bowel, making it really hard for anything to pass through, even if all the internal signals are working perfectly. So, we've just looked at 6 different connections, from brain signals to blood flow to actual physical tension. What is the one big idea here? What's the common thread that ties all of this together? It's this. Chronic constipation, especially the kind that doesn't get better with the usual advice, is almost always a symptom of a systems-level communication breakdown. Your brain isn't communicating a sense of safety to your gut. Your circulatory system isn't delivering the fuel properly. It is a full-body problem. And that is exactly why a gut-only solution so often fails.
So, if the problem is rooted in the nervous system, then that's exactly where we need to look for the solution. The goal isn't just to force movement in the gut. The goal is to support the entire system so it can find its rhythm again. So what does that path back to rhythm actually look like?
Well, instead of just thinking about more fiber, the whole approach shifts. It becomes about calming that overactive emotional brain, maybe through simple things like deep breathing exercises. It's about gently restoring that rest and digest signal with things like gentle movement. It's about hydrating with the right balance of electrolytes, not just plain water. And it's about supporting your microbiome so it can start sending healthy signals back to your brain. This just reframes the whole issue so beautifully. As one of our sources puts it, constipation isn't a failure of your gut. It's a message from your body. It's like an alarm bell saying, hey, I'm stuck in survival mode over here, and I need help feeling safe enough to get back into a state of rest and rhythm. So the next time you feel that sluggishness, that backup, instead of just reaching for a quick fix, maybe pause and ask yourself a different question. When you look at your stress levels, your energy, your overall sense of safety, what is your body really trying to tell you?